What's happening, StarMates and Earthlings? It is November 18th, and this is one for the record books. We have the sun coming in, opposing the moon in a partial eclipse. A partial eclipse, a slip of time. An eclipse that was opened up this little bitty slither of space back in 2017, August Lions Gate. You might remember. Ever since then, there was a lot of entities that entered this plane that have been cleared, transmuted, reformed, rebuilt, DNA restructured by the collective, which is you. So, right now, we are closing up this little scythe of time, but we were not alone. In this little bitty slither of space that was within the swamps of Scorpio that used to be air of Eagle before the monstrosity of the zodiac started spinning down here up over our brains. We have Mars that is ending the 12-degree cycle, coming out of the ritual, if you will. Just now, they just performed it. It just now happened. They don't even realize, Mars doesn't realize that Mercury's Hermes has already flown by. We have already come from the ether. We have already transmuted their wickedness. We have already seen and lived through the past 3 years of the spells that they have just now launched in their black magic attempt to take over the collective like they always have. But this time, there was a race. Skull and Bones always set up on what? Venus. Well, don't worry. Look up. What is over there? Venus. Where's Venus? Oh, while everybody was running around like ants, nobody paid attention. Venus has now entered into Vega, the most ancient. Syrians and Vegans are the most ancient. In fact, we're the ones who came and put this plan together to come back and save the world and bring new physics to begin with. We are now, Venus has entered in the orb of, and almost there actually, about to enter the orb of Vega, Capricorn, 1155 to 1555. Takes everything from the 00 to the 55. We've got an extra little 5 degrees in there that most people didn't know about, even humans, even the higher etherics. But this little slither in this eclipse, we had to build a wall. Why? Because other entities were trying to come into our slit of space that basically angelics are getting into this realm in order to step in and assist as the angelic army, with the angelic army on the ground in this time of great transformation. Moon and this eclipse is opposing and eclipsing the Pleiades. This eclipse is opposing the Pleiades. This eclipse is eclipsing the Pleiades. The Pleiades was a program. Pleiadian sisters is a birth canal. Pleiadian sisters were locked down here. Pleiadian sisters were held captive to be the birth canal on this planet. There are not very many actual Pleiadians here that are incarnates. Pleiadian realm is right above your head, as if Shambhala right under your feet. There are many energies that all make up a starseed. You are not just one. It's impossible. You're inside a wheel, inside a set of stars. What other stars are hitting you and from what angle? There is way more that makes up a Pleiadian. And even the Pleiadians have to go back to what made them up in order to figure out what to do now. This eclipse is eclipsing the space program, secret space program, governmental space programs, the experimenting that they've been doing on all of us down here, knowing how they made us, knowing why they made us, and how they made us to make the energy that we did, and then how they were utilizing and handling us in order to control all of you. That is what is eclipsing. There is no more Pleiadian management entertainment industry that keeps you and puts you and runs you out to different timelines. There are no more drug dealers around Los Angeles that are shot callers. There are no more shot callers in Nashville. There are no more. If you are a star shining bright, go for it. There are no, those blocks are not there. I promise you, you are not going to end up at that party this time. And yes, you're right. You were led there because your light was too bright and they didn't like it. And then if you wouldn't play by their rules, then you couldn't have no spotlight. Well, that is over. It's over. There is no more connection in the minds of the drug dealers for them to even continue the facade globally. The way that the machine was connected no longer creates the mass illusion. The actions might be going on. They're still drug dealers, oh hell yeah, and they're still doing drugs, but they are not being used to shot collar star seeds and throw them out into different timelines because they're ancient Egyptians and the mafia knows. That was what has ended. And if you weren't even aware that that was all going on, well then now you know. And you better bet it was happening to you because of how this system was set up down here. Nothing down here was set up the way it was naturally supposed to be. Everything changed. We were under attack, and right now what has happened, if you will, is this slith of time, all of us that jumped into that eclipse in 2017, and there was a bunch of us and a bunch of ancients that were always here to put it back together. We did, and it's been a ride, hasn't it? Some of you would call it time travel. Some of you know what I speak of, some of you don't. You're about to. Don't think that what we did and what we went through ain't gonna happen to you in some way, because it is. You're on Earth in a freaking bubble that is going up into new altitudes, and you can either get with it or you cannot. Your body is changing, the energetics of your body is changing, how you create is changing. It's manifesting quicker. That is what you need to know. What are your superpowers? How have you been being utilized in the corporate system to make them money? I don't give a flying fuck what your title was. I don't care if you were a CEO or a janitor. How were you being utilized in this system to produce a current for a system that was not taking care of us? Get right with that. And where is your superpowers in it all? Because you better bet that they were using them against you. It's how the matrix is set up. It's energetic. So whatever is holding you down the most, that's your superpower. So what is it? Get right with it, and how can you utilize it with others in your collective around you in order to make something good for all of us? Because we're waiting. Eclipse in the Pleiades. 2 owls in front, 3 Debs behind, and 1 Ron up your ass. And so it is.